Hi, this is Erin with Five Parks Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today's class is being filmed at my home in Colorado. We set up a quick pop-up studio upstairs because today is March 24th, 2020, and whether you're taking this class now or sometime in the future, you might remember that this is a little time of quarantine for a lot of us because of COVID-19. And so I myself have 3 kids at home, and our basement is set up with a ping pong table and Fortnite and all means of fun. So I'm finding another place to film, and it's still pretty snowy outside, so I can't do outside classes yet. So today's class is perfect for you if you are a kid of any age or a kid and a parent. It's going to be friendly and fun. If you're feeling a little bit stuck or tense, we're going to do some stretches, and you can do it with your family members. So it really is for all ages, but it's kind of designed for kids who are maybe stuck in the house and don't have their usual things going on outside of the house. So I hope you enjoy this. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon for notifications of upcoming classes or classes as they come out. And don't forget, I have hundreds of classes already on the channel, so don't forget to just scroll through and find what works for you. And if you want to join in supporting my channel, you can become a Patreon member. So we're going to start today in a seated position with some breathing. So go ahead and come into a comfortable seated position. That might mean like a cross-legged position for you, or you can sit on your shins. If you're feeling uncomfortable in a cross-legged position, you can sit on, I have a block, like a yoga block with me, but you don't need a block. You could sit maybe on some books if cross-legged is a little bit challenging for you. And then we're gonna just start with some deep breathing. And so what I'm gonna invite you to do is rest your hands in a comfortable position wherever you're seated. It could be with your palms on your knees, it could be with your palms in your lap, it could be with your palms face up, it could even be with your hands at your heart, whatever feels good for you. And then if you're comfortable and feel balanced and everything, just close your eyes. If you do not want to close your eyes, just find a place to gaze out on the floor, maybe something that's out in front of you, and you can just rest your gaze at that place, whether it's just a little dot or a speck or whatever. And we're gonna take a big breath in together. So breathe in through your nose, hold it at the top, and big exhale. Now begin to breathe in and out through your nose, and try to slow down your breathing. So it should not feel stressful on your system at all. So if you start to feel short of breath or lightheaded, just breathe at more of a natural pace. But if you can, try to breathe in and out through your nose at a slow pace. And just take a moment here and just feel your body connected to the earth. Feel your hands resting on your knees or in your lap. On your next breath in, lift your shoulders up by your ears, squeeze them really tight, and then as you breathe out, just relax them all the way down toward your mat or the ground, the earth. Now notice your jaw and try and relax the muscles in your face. Try and relax your eyes, the space between your eyes, your forehead. And outside of the sound of your breath, and hopefully outside of the sound of my voice, just try and listen to silence, calm, stillness, just for this moment. Now we're going to do a breathing exercise called balloon breathing. So if you can just visualize, you can keep your eyes closed if you want to, or you can open your eyes and watch as I do this with you. So imagine your belly is a big balloon. So when you breathe in, you're going to fill your balloon up. And then as you breathe out, you're going to deflate your balloon or empty your balloon out. Now we're going to add some arm movements to it. So just take your arms and rest your hands down on the edges or on the outside of your hips to your mat. And then as you breathe in, you're going to lift your arms up overhead, and you can just visualize your belly filling up as you breathe in. Let your belly expand like a big balloon. And then as you breathe out, bring your hands back down towards your mat, and then just start to deflate your balloon. So push out all of your air, and we're gonna do a couple more like that. So breathe in and out. Let's do 2 more. So breathe in, fill up your balloon, and breathe out. And you can go at your own pace. So breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so we're gonna do some side bends and twists. So breathe in, bring your arms back up overhead, and then take your left hand off to the side. So it doesn't matter what hand, we're gonna do both sides. So you can kind of look at me at the screen and do the same thing that I'm doing. Just take your hand down towards your mat and reach your other hand up and over, and see if you can stretch up and across and feel all your ribs and your lungs and your hip open up. Big breath in, come back to center, and then switch sides. So bring your right hand, either hand, down towards your mat, and then lift your left arm up and over. Reach, stretch, feel the opening in your side. And then come back to center, and let's take a twist. So you're gonna bring your right hand, either hand, doesn't matter, to your knee. Breathe in, lift up. Imagine that you have a little string pulling the top of your head up toward the ceiling, so you're staying nice and upright. And then see if you can look out over your shoulder. Twist your spine, breathe in and out. And then come back to center, bring both arms up overhead, big reach, and then take your left hand to your right knee or your other hand to your knee. Imagine a string is pulling the top of your head up toward the ceiling. You're gonna stay nice and upright, and then try and peek out over your shoulder. And then come all the way back up. Release your hands down to the ground, and then switch the cross of your legs. If you're on your shins, just stay where you are. Maybe you need to kind of rock back and forth and get some blood moving, but we're just gonna do a couple more things here in a seated position. So wherever you are, bring both hands up overhead. So this is gonna be good to like release some energy, or maybe if you have any tension or stress, this might help you out. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take both of your hands into fists. You're gonna squeeze them really, really tight. And then once you have a tight squeeze in your fist, as tight as you can, reach them up overhead. Bring your biceps or the tops of your arms right next to your ears. But once you do that, try and relax your shoulders down away from your ears so you're not hunching up. All right, and then what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna open our hands So you're gonna open your hands as wide as you can, like spider fingers. So really stretch them, okay? So keeping them up overhead. Now squeeze your hands into fists. Open your hands and squeeze, and open and squeeze. Okay, now start going a little bit faster. Now, can you continue to take those deep balloon belly breaths as you open and close your hands, feeling that energy, feeling that strength in your forearms. Go faster. You go faster, faster, faster. Feel the burning in your arms. Feel all that energy coming up and out of your body, and still feel where you're grounded on your mat, where you're connected to the earth. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, bring your arms down, shake it out. Maybe roll your shoulders a little bit. Let go of all of that energy. Good. Now, let's come into a position called tabletop, where your hands and your knees are on your mat. Spread your hands wide. So when you look down at your hands, you should see the ground between each finger beneath your hands. And then just feel that your neck is nice and long. And we're gonna take some movements called cat and cow. So when you take a deep breath in, drop your belly, lift the top of your head. And then when you breathe out, round your spine, like you're a Halloween cat. So lift your spine and then look at your belly button, and then just go back and forth. So breathe in and out. And keep going. Listen to the sound of your breath. Feel the movement in your body. And notice where your body is touching the ground. Notice your hands on the ground. Notice your knees and your feet on the ground. And then come back to a tabletop position, so flat back. And then let's try a balance here. So what we're gonna do is bring your right arm forward and your left leg back, but it doesn't matter which arm or which leg, just as long as they're opposite. So take your opposite hand forward, your opposite leg back, and see if you can balance here. The best thing that you can do to help yourself balance is to look down. Find a place to steady your gaze. Are you breathing? If you fall, just come back to it. Okay, now switch sides. So left arm forward, right leg back, or just your opposite side. So make sure it's your opposite arm and your opposite leg. Notice your breathing. Notice your steady, still gaze. And then come back to tabletop position. Now from tabletop position, just cross your ankles and then come back to a seated position. So you're gonna take both of your feet flat to the floor. See if you can get your toes right in front of your heels and your heels right in line with your knees and your hips. So if your feet are way out here or way together, try to get them all even. Take your hands out behind you. And then we're gonna try a position called reverse bridge. So press into your feet and lift your hips as high as you can. As you lift your hips, lower your shoulders, and then look up to the ceiling. Hold here. Can you take one more breath here? Take Take a deep breath in. See if you can lift your hips a little bit higher. And then come back to a seated position. Keep your knees bent and then bring your knees into your chest. So you're holding here. Now, if you want to try a posture called boat pose, imagine that you're a boat floating on the ocean. You're just going to reach your arms out in front of you. And then start to do a little bit of rocking like you're on the waves. And let's do some bigger rocks. And maybe we're going to rock all the way back down onto our back. So you can keep doing this, or you can hold on to your knees and start doing bigger rocks. So all the way back and all the way forward. Let's do that again. Okay, now do one more, and this time when you come back up, see if you can come back to boat pose, not holding onto your knees, but just reaching out to your toes. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Now come back into a seated position, but you're gonna bring the bottoms of your feet together for butterfly pose. So set your feet down on the floor. And once again, imagine that a string is pulling the top of your head up toward the ceiling and you're opening your chest, breathing deeply in. And then if you want, you can start to make your way forward, bringing your elbows toward your knees, maybe your forehead toward your toes. And take a big breath in here. And a big breath out. Maybe you can bring your forehead toward your toes, all the way toward your toes. And it's okay if you can't reach your toes yet. And then come all the way back up. Now come back into your boat pose. So lift your feet up off the floor. You can hold on to the backs of your knees. You can reach your hands forward toward your toes. And we're gonna roll 3 times again. So you're gonna roll back and forward and back and forward. Now this time, back and forward, but instead of coming back to boat, you're gonna come into a squat. So you're gonna come all the way forward, separate your feet and your legs, and then come down into a low squat. You can bring your hands to your heart, or you can rest them on the floor, you can rest them on a block. I'm gonna face you now, you don't need to move, but it's gonna look like this. So if you want, you can always take your block or something if you wanna sit on it like this, but this is really good for your hips and your low back, and you can stay there on your block, or you can sit low and bring your hands to your heart or rest them on the floor. And we're just gonna hold here for one more breath. Okay, so keep your elbows on your knees or your hands on a block or the floor. And all you're gonna do is lift your hips up a little bit and then lower them down. Try and take some deep breaths as you do this. So lift and lower. Lift and lower. Now this time, wherever your hands are, take them either to your block or the floor and then lift all the way up, but keep your feet where they are. So they're a little bit wider than your hips, your toes are pointing slightly out. And then try to relax your head so that you're looking back between your legs and your body is really, really heavy. You can bend your legs as much as you want. And then you can just start to rock side to side. Just swaying your hips. One more breath here. Now come back to the middle, and then you can just roll your way up really slow. So let your arms be really, really heavy. I'm just gonna roll all the way up to a standing position. All right, and once you arrive in a standing position, take your hands down by your waist, and you're gonna rest one palm up with your thumb extended, and then take your other palm, place it on top of your first hand, bring your thumbs together. So you're making like a little circle with your hands, with your thumbs. And then we're gonna do a movement called sunflowers, and this is good for your energy and just moving it around. So what you're gonna do is bend your left leg and take your arms up and around in a circle, up overhead, and then you're gonna bend your right leg and then lower your arms down in front of you. So pretty straight arms. You're gonna have a slight bend in your elbows, but keep your arms straight, and you're gonna start coming up and around in circles. Now what we're gonna do is start increasing the speed. So you're gonna go a little bit faster and faster. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then go slow in the other direction. So one circle in the other direction, extending your arms long, and again, and then you're gonna start going faster. So start picking up the pace, picking up your speed, and go faster and faster for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and then just swing your arms, bring your legs toward straight, release your hands down by your side, take a big breath in, bring your arms up overhead, touch the palms of your hands together, up overhead. And then take your hands to your heart. So you can take your thumbs and press them at your chest, take a little bend to your knees, and then circle your arms down and around. Breathe in, and little squat. Breathe out. And again. You can go at your own pace. Breathe in and out. Okay, so this time we're gonna breathe in, reach your arms up, bring your arms so they're parallel to the floor, and then flip your hands, and you're gonna bring your waist, bend forward, come halfway down. So you're looking down at the floor. And you can look at me if you don't understand what's next. So what you're gonna do is bring your arms forward and touch the palms of your hands again. And then from here, you're just gonna flop down like a rag doll. And exhale, breathe out. All right, get really strong in your legs. Reach your arms off to the side, all the way up overhead. Touch the palms of your hands together. Do one little squat. Breathe in, lift your arms up. Now bend forward halfway down. Reach your arms forward, touch your hands together, and then flop. Let's do that 2 more times. Make your legs really strong. Reach up, connect the palms of your hands together, little squat. Breathe in, halfway down. Reach your arms forward, touch your hands together, and flop. Last time, straighten up your legs, nice and strong, reach up, touch your hands together, little mini squat. Breathe in, halfway down, breathe out. Breathe in, touch your hands together. Breathe out, flop. Now from this position, if you need to bring your feet a little bit closer together, that's fine, but keep them at an angle and you're gonna come back into your squat. So you can, once again, touch your hands together. You can take them to a block or the floor, but try to get the top of your head going up toward the ceiling while your hips sink low to the floor. All right, from this position, I'm gonna turn on my mat again, but you can stay right where you are. Just take your hands down onto your mat and you're gonna step back to a plank position. So get your feet way back there. Get your shoulders right over your wrists. Look down at your mat. See if you can hold here for 3, 2, 1. Feeling really strong. And then get your hips way up high for downward facing dog position. And from here, you can just shake out your head. You can bend and straighten one leg at a time, just stretching out the backs of your legs. And then look at your hands, and you can take a little jump if you want to jump toward your hands, or you can walk your feet toward your hands, come all the way to the front of your mat, and then fold over your legs. So stretching the backs of both of your legs. You can have your hands on a block or your shins or the floor. And then take a deep breath in as you reach your arms up overhead. Bring your hands together and to your heart. And we're gonna take a balancing posture called tree pose. So I'm gonna face you again. You can stay right where you are. You're gonna stand first on your right foot, and then you're gonna bring your opposite foot to your ankle or your calf or your inner thigh. And you can bring your hands to your heart or up toward the ceiling, and find a place to gaze. Instead of looking at the TV screen, look down at the floor or a place out in front of you and see if you can hold here, taking your deep breaths. And take a big breath in. And then we're gonna switch sides. So take your left foot to the floor and bring your right foot to either your ankle or the floor, or you can bring it all the way up, just avoiding your knee. And then find a place to gaze. And this will help you with your balance. And can you hear your breath as you balance on one foot, either with your hands at your heart or your arms reaching up overhead? Big breath in, and then let it go. Release your foot back to the floor. Reach both arms up overhead. Look up toward your fingertips, and then come all the way down. Let's do one more plank pose. So place your hands on the floor, step back and hold here for 3, 2, 1. And let's take a child's pose. So release your knees and your shins and your feet to the floor. Bring your knees wide. Touch your big toes together and sit your hips back on your heels. And then rest your forehead down on your mat or the carpet or your floor. And then take 3 breaths here. Breathe in through your nose.
and out through your nose. Try to imagine your belly as a big balloon filling up and deflating, and just feel where your body is connected to your mat. Feel your forehead resting on the floor or maybe your hands. Now walk your hands back up underneath your shoulders, and once more cross over your ankles, but this time we're going to come all the way down onto our back. So take your feet flat to the floor, lower all the way down so you're laying flat on your back, but your legs are bent and your feet are flat on the floor. And then bring your arms up into like a cactus position or goalpost position with your palms facing up toward the ceiling. You can peek at the screen if you need to see this position, and then just rock your legs side to side. And just go back and forth. And then just one more to each side. Next time your legs come to one side, just rest them down on the floor for a nice twist. And then switch sides, rest your legs down to the floor, take one breath. And then come all the way back to the middle. And then bring your knees into your chest. And the next pose we're gonna do is called Happy Baby. So if you need to peek at the screen, you can. You're gonna separate your legs and then hold on to either your thighs, your calves, maybe your toes, and then just rock side to side like you're a happy baby. A nice little massage for your spine. And this is really good for your legs for a nice deep stretch. And then bring your knees back to center and give yourself a big hug. Maybe bring your forehead up towards your knees, squeeze really, really, really tight. And then release. And the last pose we're gonna do for class is called Shavasana. So this pose, it's a relaxation pose. So extend your legs long and then your arms long. And then close your eyes if you feel comfortable and like your body is in a position that works for you, that you can maybe stay still just for a few moments. And then all together, we're going to take a deep breath in and a big exhale through your mouth. And for these next few moments, we'll just be quiet. See if you can feel your body where it's touching on the floor, on the ground, on your mat. Feel your heels and your legs. Feel your hips and your back. Feel your hands and your arms. Notice your shoulders and your whole head, just completely relaxed on your mat. It's okay if you fidget or move to get your body comfortable, and then just try and come back, just maybe for one breath, staying calm and still. Maybe listening to this silence. When you're ready to move again, just start wiggling your toes. Wiggle your fingers, feel your fingers. Now notice your ankles and take some rolls. Notice your wrists and take some rolls. And then reach your arms up overhead and take a big stretch like you're yawning. And then roll onto your side. And just taking 1 second before you sit up. And just feeling how relaxed your body is and how calm and steady your breathing is and how stretched and balanced your body feels. And press your way up to seated. And then we'll close with a greeting that says, translates to the light in me sees the light in you. So you can just take your hands to your hearts. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and most of all, peace in your heart. From my heart to yours, namaste.